Category Magazine, the biggest horror movie magazine in the world, and they're giving away free VHS. Weird Science, one of my favorite. Absolutely.
I'm rocking FX, HD, American Horror Story. I don't know what the hell's going on in that show. Tripping me out. But I know one thing, Pepper comes on, and I start going wild, like Pepper, Pepper. And I'm like sitting there getting drunk, what do we watch? I don't know. And then I'm like looking at my wife, I go, don't we put on that convention in the spring? And they're like, yeah, I think you do, dumbass. I'm like, well, why don't we try to reach out and get Pepper? You're here!
I'm here!
All right! This season, wasn't a fan at the start, UFOs, but man, I got hooked quick.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic, you guys are great, season 2 was great. Jessica Laing, I mean, this season was wild. Again, I had to watch it 2 or 3 times because I got that drinking problem and all, but it all came together at the end. So that Pepper for President campaign, where did that come from? That just
I
came out
don't
of nowhere?
know. It just popped up, like cropped up on the internet. And then all of a sudden they started popping up around, at least Los Angeles. I can't speak for other cities, but they're all over the place. It's like street art.
I tried to research, I couldn't find anything on who started it. I just saw the photos where they were posted.
I did find who it was.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's a Brazilian fan. For whatever reason, Brazil has gone a little bonkers for Pepper, which is awesome.
Right.
A lot of my process was really, I watched Schlitzie from Freaks, if you guys are familiar with the Todd Browning movie, because that was the whole, I guess Ryan Murphy's like really obsessed with that movie, and so that was part of, my homework. So I watched that film on a loop all summer in preparation. Because like I said, I do a lot of kind of comedy, really over-the-top stuff, and it was really important to me to not seem like I was making fun. This is a real condition and a real show, like a serious show, and it's not the place, although it is kind of a comedic, quirky, fun character.
Hey guys, we're at Shockstock Horror Convention 2013, and sitting here with me is the lovely and talented Naomi Grossman. Most of you will know Naomi from her character Pepper Pinhead on the hit series American Horror Story, but also I'm a fan of your short films and parodies. Aww. So I was wondering if you could tell our viewers a little bit about Red Meat Entertainment and how that came about.
Red Meat Entertainment is just me. It's a sort of a name I adopted to sort of, make myself look more official. I was, quite honestly, just not getting cast, and so I thought, what better way? I'll cast myself. Yeah. So that's when I used to be at the Groundling Sunday Company, which is sort of a comedy factory in Los Angeles. A lot of big comedians come out of there. Mm-hmm. Will Ferrell, Lisa Kudrow, Phil Hartman, I mean, you name it. Right. And so, I had this just wealth of material, shorts and whatnot, sketches that I'd written while I was there. And so I thought, well, they're not doing any good in my closet. I might as well get them out, into the internet. So absolutely. That's what I did.
Well, I loved the parody you did of Madonna's Hung Up video. That was hilarious. I was just dying laughing watching that. And I also really enjoyed Teat the Parents and the hot yoga skit that you did. So funny. And you guys can check out Red Meat Entertainment short films on funnyordie.com, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And YouTube as well.
And YouTube.
Although the Madonna has been taken off of YouTube. She did not like that.
We liked it. Yeah. So let's talk about American Horror Story for a little bit. So your process of becoming Pepper. I watched the video on YouTube of you having your head shaved. You're so very brave. And I know that you spent hours in makeup and prosthetics to become Pepper physically. What was it like becoming, what did you do to prepare mentally? Because obviously your character had a big Todd Browning's influence over it from the 1932 horror flick Freaks. So did you watch that, and what other things did you do to prepare to just kind of get that kind of character out there?
Yeah, watching that, I watched that all summer long, because that's really my only direction. In fact, I got pretty much all my direction from the makeup department. They were the ones that said early on, you're going to look like this, you're probably going to want to act like that, you know?
Right.
And it wasn't until I was on set and, you know, that's where I, 30 minutes before we're rolling, I am introduced to the director, meet Ryan Murphy, At that point, it's too late to make those sorts of, character decisions.
Right.
So I'd watched, I met with a coach, like I just, do your homework.
Yeah.
Especially because you're kind of establishing this character who we're going to see throughout the season.
Right.
So, although I will say, because I wasn't able to read scripts ahead of time, and in fact, they're not written ahead of time. They're writing as they're shooting.
Wow.
And that's why we say, like, what the fans like, I think, it comes out, at the end of the day. I learned later on that, Pepper's, been abducted, and now she speaks, and now she's, coherent, and not just coherent, she's a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
So, that I had an evolution throughout the show as well.
Did you think going into this, when you first accepted the role, did you realize that it was going to become such a big deal and basically be one of the roles that have changed your life?
No, not at all. I mean, honestly, like there's a real hierarchy in Hollywood. Like if you're like an extra, then you're never going to speak. If you're a co-star, well, then you're going to ask for people's order, or offer a scalpel. If you're a guest star, well, then if you're a series regular. I mean, I started off as a co-star. It was a cool co-star, it was a Pepper, but we had no idea. And, there were several of us. The Mexican, if you remember, in the first, I think maybe this third episode, she's killed by Sister Mary Eunice.
Right.
And, I think at that point, any one of us could have, hit, and it just so happened that, Pepper did.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever had a fan give you or say to you?
Well, somebody tweeted me their junk.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And it was a woman.
Oh.
And it was a hard woman. She'd have, let me tell you.
You must have.
And it was real thorough. We got all the anatomy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of you because, like you said, it's opened wonderful doors for you. And best of luck with all of your future endeavors. And thank you so much for chatting with us today. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, what are you? Oh, don't let him get you. All right, let's keep moving. We got some of the greatest merch.